Hi guys, for today's video I'm going to tackle to you the summary of Chapter 10 Application Layer. Application layer protocols include application, presentation, and session, and also how application protocols interact with end-user applications. Application, presentation, and session. First, application layer. The application layer is closest to the end user. It is the layer that provides the interface between applications used to communicate and the underlying network over which messages are transmitted. Application layer protocols are used to exchange data between programs running on the source and destination host. Presentation and session layer. The presentation layer has three primary functions: formatting or presenting data at the source device into a compatible form for receipt by the destination device, compressing data in a way that can be decompressed by the destination device, encrypting data for transmission, and decrypting data upon receipt. TCP or IP application layer protocols. The TCP or IP application protocols specify the format and control information necessary for many common Internet communication functions. How application protocols interact with end-user applications. Client-server model and peer-to-peer networks, peer-to-peer applications, and common P2P applications. So first is client-server model. In the client-server model, the device requesting the information is called a client, and a device responding to the request is called a server. Client and server processes are considered to be in the application layer. The client begins the exchange by requesting data from the server, which responds by sending one or more streams of data to the client application layer protocols. The client application layer protocols describe the format of the request and response between clients and servers. In addition to the actual data transfer, this exchange may also require user authentication and the identification of a data file to be transferred. Peer-to-peer networks. In the peer-to-peer or P2P networking model, the data is accessed from a peer device without the use of a dedicated server. The P2P network model involves two parts: P2P networks and P2P applications. Peer-to-peer applications. A P2P application allows a device to act as both a client and a server within the same communication. Every client is a server and every server is a client. P2P applications require that each end device provide a user interface and run a background service. Common P2P applications. With P2P applications, each computer in the network running the application can act as a client or a server for the other computers in the network running the application. Common P2P networks include eDonkey, G2, BitTorrent, and Bitcoin. Next, well-known application layer protocols and services. Web and email protocols, IP addressing services, and file sharing services. So in web and email protocols, it has the Hypertext Transfer Protocol and Hypertext Markup Language, HTTP and HTTPS, email protocols, SMTP operation, POP operation, and EMAP operation. So first, Hypertext Transfer Protocol and Hypertext Markup Language. When a web address or uniform resource locator or URL is typed into a web browser, the web browser establishes a connection to the web service running on the server using the HTTP protocol. URLs and Uniform Resource Identifier or URIs are the names most people associate with web address. To better understand how the browser interprets the three parts of the URL. So HTTP, the protocol or scheme, www.cisco.com, the server name, then index.html, the specific file name requested. Next is HTTP and HTTPS. HTTP is a request or response protocol. When a client, typically a web browser, sends a request to a web server, HTTP specifies the message types used for that communication. The three common message types are GET, POST, and PUT. GET is a client request for data. POST is uploads data files to the web service such as form data, and PUT uploads resources or content to the web server such as an image. Then HTTPS is just more secure than HTTP. So for secure communication across the internet, the HTTP secure protocol is used. HTTPS uses authentication and encryption to secure data. Email protocols. One of the primary services offered by an ISP is email hosting. To run on a computer or other end device, email requires several applications and services. Email is a store and forward method of sending, storing, and retrieving electronic messages across a network. Email messages are stored in databases on mail servers. SMTP operation. SMTP messages formats require a message header and a message body. While the message body can contain any amount of text, the message header must have a properly formatted recipient email address and the sender address. PUB operation. PUB is used by an application to retrieve mail from a mail server. With PUB, mail is downloaded from the server to the client and then deleted on the server. This is how PUB operates by default. IMAP operation. IMAP is another protocol that describes a method to retrieve email messages. Unlike PUB, when the user connects to an IMAP capo server, copies of the messages are downloaded to the client application. The original messages are kept on the server until manually deleted. Users view copies of the messages in their email client software. Next is IP addressing services. Domain name service. In data networks, devices are labeled with numeric IP addresses to send and receive data over networks. Domain names were created to convert the numeric address into a simple recognizable name. DNS message format. The DNS server stores different types of resource records used to resolve names. These records contain the name, address, and the type of record. Some of these records types are A, NS, for A and MX. A is an end device IPv4 address. NS is an authoritative name server. Then for A, an end device IPv6 address pronounced quad A. So MX, a mail exchange record. DNS hierarchy. The DNS protocol uses a hierarchical system to create a database to provide name resolution. The NS lookup command. When configuring a network device, one or more DNS server addresses are provided that the DNS client can use for name resolution. Dynamic host configuration protocol. Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol or DHCP for IPv4 service automates the assignment of IPv4 addresses, subnet masks, gateways, and other IPv4 networking parameters. This is referred to as dynamic addressing. DHCP operation. So DHCP operation configure devices, boots up or connects to the network. The client broadcasts a DHCP discover or DHCP discover message to identify any available DHCP servers on the network. Next is file sharing services. Includes file transfer protocol and server message block. So file transfer protocol is another commonly used application layer protocol. FTP was developed to allow for data transfers between a client and a server. An FTP client is an application that runs on a computer that is used to push and pull data from an FTP server. Server message block. The server message block or SMB is a client or server file sharing protocol that describes the structure of shared network resources such as directories, files, printers, and serial ports. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching.